What does a watercolor artist want for Christmas anyway? Well, here are 11 ideas of something you can give to a watercolor artist, and the vast majority of them could be appreciated by beginners, but more advanced artists would be able to use them as well. This is a Teacher's Choice watercolor palette that I curated for my students. This is not a new one, by the way, it's been used. It has 15 colors and 3 brushes. These brushes are simply Simmons. They're just student grade brushes. However, when I've taught classes, I have used the brushes that my students are using, and this rose was painted entirely with simply Simmons brushes. The thing that's great about this palette is that while beginners can use it because it gets them started with more than 3 colors, it also has quite a bit of mixing area, and unlike some small palettes, it closes with the paint on the bottom and flat, so the paint doesn't get turned upside down when you close it. This is also a great palette for more advanced students because everybody can use good paint, and it's great for travel. I use this for my travel paint set, and I take it wherever I go. It's really nice to have paper that's in a block because it stays stretched. If I was getting it for a beginner, I'd probably get a smaller size because it's easier to start painting on a smaller scale. Here's a painting that I did on it. And to remove it, you just get a palette knife and stick it into this edge, or you can, use your finger once you've started. And it just comes right off, and then your next paper is ready to be used. Now I put tape on mine because I wanted this particular size, but you could paint the whole thing without using tape. Another little trio that I have that is really great for any level, anybody could use this. One is a brush cleaner and preserver, and especially when you're using good quality brushes, it helps them to last longer. And also it helps the paint to flow through them much better than if you just use dish soap or some other kind of soap. This is Frisket, some places call it masking fluid. And this is the best one I've ever used. It's by Graphics. It's called the Incredible White Mask. And it is so easy to put on and so easy to get off. And this is bleed proof white. And this is great for those times when you maybe want to splatter snow or when you just have something that needs to be fixed. And you can use this to fix it. This is very necessary for the beginner artist. Masking tape is especially good for masking off your edges. And when you mask your edges, you can tell better what your painting looks like at the end when you take it off. This sponge is for water control. Now, I did order some and they couldn't make it in time. And so this is an old one. They last a long time. They never get smelly. I never use them for anything but painting though. Who doesn't like markers? Well, I do. And I don't always enjoy signing with a paintbrush because sometimes if it's a small painting, it's a very small area to sign in. And so there's a lot of colors and they have a nice fine tip and they're great for signing paintings. And any level of artist could use this as well. Of course, good brushes are wonderful. You can paint great things with less good brushes, but these make it easier. So this is a Princeton Neptune number 8. And this comes in bigger sizes if you paint big, but it can actually work on a fairly large painting pretty easily too because it holds so much water. And then these two, even though they look all puffed out, they come to great points, especially this one. These are both top of the line brushes. They are Kolinsky Sable, and I use these for when I have something I just can't seem to get with another brush because these just really work well. These definitely need the brush cleaner. And then these are my new favorites. This one is a silver Atelier Squirrel Blend quill, and it has a great point, and it holds a lot of water even though it's so tiny because it's a quill, and it can just do really well on detail. And then these, a number 0 and a number 2 Da Vinci Casaneo. It comes in a set with a number 6 as well. And so this is something else that would be great for any level artist. Of course, every artist can use an apron to protect their clothing. And so I created 2 using my paintings, and they can be found in my Etsy store. The link for that and for everything that I talk about in this video today can be found in the comments below. This is a set of 5 quinacridone paints. Quinacridone are lovely colors and they're transparent, and so they make beautiful, beautiful things. This quinacridone quintet comes with nickel quinacridone gold, quinacridone rose, quinacridone rust, quinacridone red, and quinacridone violet. Now, quinacridone rose and quinacridone rust are in my regular palette. I use them all the time. They're two of my favorite colors. And these others are lovely too. This nickel quinacridone gold is quite amazing because unlike most yellows, it's very transparent. I'm going to paint this sunset picture that a friend of mine took, and he's actually legally blind, and yet he is the most amazing photographer. He seems to be able to see enough. I'm just going to put this yellow right in the middle. And see how bright that is? And then while that's still wet, before it dries, I'm going to add some of the quinacridone rose. And then I'm going to add some of the red. And it gets some purple in it when it gets into the water. Now these colors are really great for a sunset, but they also could be used for a million other things. I decided to try some liquid watercolors. This is Ecoline Mixing Colors, and they are quite intense and are dye-based, so unlike some regular watercolors, they're also very transparent. They're even more transparent than the quinacridones. They come in these nice boxes that you pinch in and lift it, and then they're stackable, which is great. Do a sunset for this one. And this is going to be a really loud, vibrant sunset, which is kind of fun. I'm going to start with the yellows, and I'm just going to put them right on the paper. I'm just going to spread them, let them go, and I have them on a block so they spread easier. And I'm going to rinse my brush, dry it off on the sponge so that my yellows aren't totally contaminated. I'm going to put a little bit more yellow on there because I had so much water in my brush. And we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to use these inks to do the silhouette with pen. I'm just taking a regular pen. You could also get calligraphy pens and you could also do writing with calligraphy pens. I bought some calligraphy pens, but I didn't think they were good enough to include in this video, and if I had it to do again, I would buy them at a specialty store. Now I'm going to put a branch across here. The last gift I'd like to recommend is a class, and I have two classes available. One is this cute little bird, and the other one is this Let's Dance hydrangea. They're both available on my Buy Me a Cup page. You can go right in there. They're easy purchase and an easy download, and anybody would love to have a gift like that.